So I'm going to go through and explain this new build that I'm working on. So this is kind of the introductory video, talk about what I'm going to be doing. And as you can see, I've started doing a lot of it. Just need to finish some things out and assemble it. So what we started with here was an EMERBU M4a1-V2, so one of their new V2 gearbox blasters. And going to do some significant modifications to it, especially cosmetically, of course. I did replace the spring on here. This already came with metal gears, high-speed motor. It's been pretty much fully upgraded, about 275 FPS out of the box. I put a spring in there, which I'm guessing is around 110, M110, which is pushing the limits for sure. What it was actually an M130 that I cut down with a hacksaw because an M130 is way too big. So we're going to see how it performs. We should get some good numbers, but again, that's definitely pushing the limits. And, I would advise just know that if you go to giant springs, you may get great FPS, but you may end up breaking your blaster, or your blaster just may break sooner, because eventually all blasters need some sort of maintenance. But a bigger spring like that is obviously going to be harder on it. So kind of an experiment. And again, with the limited use that I put on it, it's not likely to break. But with prolonged use, you may want to switch it back or switch it down to like an M95. So what I wanted to do here is I recently got an ACRJ10, which I haven't had for a while. And I did some mods with that. I put a buffer tube stock on it, so I had the ACR stock. And I wanted to be able to incorporate that. And the best blaster at the time that I had that I could mod was this M4, this V2 gearbox M4. And I thought, let me see what we can do to try to make that fit. So I went ahead and I made a piece that allows you to put the stock, the ACR stock, onto this M4. So to make this, people ask for my 3D files sometimes, and the reasons why I don't share them is because I don't model them normally, and I don't think that they're going to print right for a lot of people. It's because I take multiple different models that I find, cut them up, resize them, that kind of thing. So with this, basically I found a free model that was an ACR adapter to an MP5. So I took that one. I basically cut the ACR part off. Then I took, a buffer tube drop stock adapter, and I cut that. I joined those together. I put pieces, around to clean it up. I had to do a couple prototype prints. So that's how I make these. Basically, I build, stack, cut, that kind of stuff. And they're not like perfect models for printing, and I don't know that they're going to print on other people's printers fine. They've worked well for me. But again, all the free files are out there. You just have to know how to cut them up and put them together. So what we got here is going to just slide on the back, obviously. This actually is going to fill in where the charge handle goes, right? So that's going to go right in there. And then actually what I did too is on this one, because again, I have so many, I don't advise you guys put holes or cut yours, but put a hole through there. And then the little bolt that's going to go right through here, there's a heat insert in the bottom here, and that's just going to attach it in there really nice and tight. So we got that little kind of rail riser built in there, which is kind of cool. But we're blocking the charge handle, obviously. I knew this top piece was going to block the charge panel anyway, right here. So I thought, let's incorporate this kind of riser almost to put on there. Now you're wondering, well, what about the charge handle? Well, first of all, the charging is never essential or necessary, right? Anytime you pull the trigger, you're essentially charging the blaster or priming, the mag. But it is a cool feature, and again, I like to always tell people, pulling the charge handle to prime for 5 seconds is no different than pulling the trigger for 5 seconds. Both of them are running that motor in the mag for 5 seconds. to fill up the feed tube. But again, I do agree. I do like it. I think it's cool. And so I thought of a way to incorporate that. So you can see up here, I've clipped the prime wires, or the charge handle wires for the primer, and I'm going to run those out. And actually what I'm going to do is I've got a little button right here, is this part of the stock is hollow. So I'm going to go ahead, and what I'll end up doing is drilling a hole here. This piece will insert, be glued in there, and you'll have your little priming button back here, so that when you need to go ahead and prime, you can just push the button back here. I thought it was the best place to put it, and the easiest place to put it, because otherwise, like packing extra wires in around in the receiver can get really tight, and I didn't want to deal with that. So that's what we got going there. And sorry, this video is getting a little long, but I'm doing a lot of different things. Again, just incorporated kind of the same panel design. If you guys watch my channel, you know I do like to kind of incorporate different decorative elements, I guess, in different blasters and keep them consistent. Over here, we do have, this hasn't been painted obviously, but we got the same panel in the mag plate. And now we got the handguard. So the handguard, I wanted to, again, what I've been trying to do a lot lately is incorporate as many of the pieces that I already have that are factory or stock pieces, and figure out ways to customize those to make them really cool. So what I did here is, again, these panels, I was going to make just some rail covers, but I remembered that you can actually take these rails off, right? So instead, basically, these are rail replacements. So they just kind of, they're on there really nice and tight, painted them out black along with the bottom part of the handguard black. So we're kind of going with that two-tone. And then this piece, this kind of front end extension, again, it's not all put together nice and tight, was just something new and different that I hadn't done before. I thought it looked kind of it was just an idea I had. I believe this was actually, the outer part there was actually like a sleeve for a tracer that I had resized. So I used that same design here. And this is actually a nice recessed long fake suppressor. This will be red probably. And when this is on here, this is actually going to be, it's not going to stick out very much further than like this from the end of the handguard. So that's it. Lastly, this is just going to slide on here and go right up, flush around kind of the bottom of that extension. So that's what we got going on. I know it was a long video. I think it's going to look really cool and unique. Obviously, it's going to be different. I try to always do new, different builds to show you guys because that's fun for me. And hopefully it's fun for you guys to see a bunch of different things, even though some might be a little crazy. Obviously, they're not all for everyone, but I enjoy making them, and hopefully you guys enjoy seeing them. So comments, questions, post them below. Of course, like, subscribe, share my channel with your friends. And remember to ring the notification bell so you know when videos are posted, especially those monthly video contest videos where I give away about $200 worth of blasters and accessories on my YouTube channel. Thanks.